Mainstream media kills me because it's so blatantly obvious when they're pushing a narrative and you can see it. And I think that as it stands today, people are getting more and more self-aware of when somebody is trying to manipulate them or push a narrative, because everybody is calling it out anymore.
The media is truly the enemy of the people, somehow making their few remaining viewers even stupider, as they finally caught the guy that allegedly left behind the pipe device in DC on the 6th of January, as the feds have arrested this man for planting the pipes.
Ryan Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from...
Wait a minute. What did he just say? No freaking way. No. Do my eyes not work anymore? My eyes must just not work, right? Let's hear that again.
Arrested this man for planting the pipes.
Ryan Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device. A 30-year-old white man.
And when CNN isn't calling him a white man, they're writing entire articles about him without once even showing his image, as all their articles are headlining the man's masked images, and at the same exact time, other outlets seem to know exactly what he looks like, no matter how much.
How can you not see this as like a clear push of a narrative? That's a hell of a tan. That is the best tan I have ever seen. That is wild. Mislead, misdirect, misinform, the 3 M's of mainstream media. Can I be honest? I remember, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna date myself a little bit. Obviously, this has always happened. But I know when I started to notice this the most was back when Obama ran for his first term. I remember watching a lot of stuff around Barack Obama. And I was a big fan of politics at the time. I watched like every speech he did. I watched everything he said live. I watched all of it. And then I would watch what he said, and then I would get on the internet, and then I would see both sides completely misrepresenting things that he was saying or outright lying about what they said he said. And it was to the point where I would have to go back and rewatch those same interviews and be like, that's not what he said. And it got so bad because I watched both sides do it. And that was the moment where I started to realize that I couldn't trust media, but there wasn't a good source to get your information from at the time, because that was all there was. Yeah, the amount of spin coming out of both sides of the media was insane. Yeah, everyone wants to play their own narrative. It is so obnoxious that it's happening, but now people are literally calling it out in real time. And because people are becoming so much more used to content creators and content in spaces, people can actually are starting to be able to tell when something is clipped or like rage bait clipped. If I see a clip on the internet of somebody doing something, my first thought isn't, man, that's outrageous. Is it bad that my first thought is, where's the rest of the clip? Like, as soon as I see the clip, I'm not like, oh man, that's crazy. I'm like, hold on, man. This is 30 seconds. And you're showing me like the moment shit popped off, and you're not showing me anything that happened before this. So at this point, I actually don't care about that 30-second clip, because I want to know what happened in the 5 minutes leading up to it to get you that 30-second clip. And then on top of that, AI is getting so good that when I see a clip, I'm getting to the point where I don't even know that I believe the clip anymore. Because I'm like, oh, this is probably AI. And then in order for me to even want to believe the clip, I have to go research it before I even really care about it, and I'm lazy. So like, if I'm lazy, I imagine a normal human being is just disregarding this shit outright anymore, because they know that more than likely it's either rage bait or it could even be fake. So you just tune it out. And maybe that is what the like billionaire class is trying to do, is get to where now You literally can't even trust your own lying eyes, right? But I'm not the only person that sees this, right? Like, we all see this.
But you hate the mainstream media, you don't hate them enough. As one slip-up might be a mistake, but they race swap so many suspects, you'd think it's a Netflix adaptation. As remember that shooter in Manhattan? The initial images came out of a man with an afro.
They do know what he looks like. Sunglasses, mustache, male, possibly white.
The fact that they knew he had a mustache just shows that they saw the image, but decided the narrative was more important to protect than their own integrity. As even in the article they have up today, you gotta get through the bulk of their reporting about everything except race until they finally show his face. And it would be one thing if CNN just wanted to destroy their credibility, but this is an epidemic we see with most left-leaning news outlets. Remember the guy throwing Molotovs over in Boulder, Colorado, later known as the illegal Egyptian immigrant Mohammed Salman? Well, here comes MSNBC's reporting on the video everybody already saw.
Verify and confirm some video, but it appears to show a significant portion of the incident as it happened. There's an individual that's taken into custody. He's a white male.
Just think of all.
So to be fair, I'm almost positive that based on the US Census data, if you are of like Middle Eastern descent, you are classified as white. Let me double check that. I'm almost positive that classification exists. Official definition, 2020 Census and current federal standards. The OMB Statistical Policy Directive number 15, which governs federal race and ethnic classifications, defines the white category as a person having origins of any original peoples of Europe, Middle East, or North Africa. So on the US Census from 2020, 2010, and 2020, individuals from these countries are instructed to mark white as their race. There's no separation, Middle Eastern, North African racial category at present. So this explicitly includes Arabs, Iranians, Turks, Israelis, Armenians, Kurds. Yep. It's intentionally intellectually dishonest. Because what they're doing is they are using like ambiguity to drive a narrative. Do you see? So they are being honest, but intellectually dishonest, because they are using something that is a technicality to like obfuscate a visual truth to people. How many classifications are in the US Census? Yeah, so there are 7. White, Hispanic or Latino, Black or African American, Asian, American Indian or Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern, Northern African. This one's new. So in 2030, they will add it, but it's not there right now. Guarantee if you ask an Egyptian if he's white, he's going to say no, but yeah. So in 2030, it's going to be revised, but for now, there's only 6.
The lies the left could get away with if social media and camera phones weren't a thing, or at the very least, Elon Musk didn't buy X, enabling us to freely share information without Facebook fact-checkers telling us the vaccine stops the spread, not because any long-term science, but because the Democrats on TV said so. As before the official reports on that terror attack in Colorado came out, most everybody already saw that viral video on social media, but MSNBC wants you to forget what you saw and only believe what they say, because the current thing is controlling the narrative around race. As it's bad enough certain police chiefs refuse to release mugshots of dangerous criminals to protect racial narratives.
Bro, come on. Like, could you be any more obvious?
You see Black and brown men all the time you see these mugshots either on television, news, movies, you name the media source, and the mind begins to associate that group with that type of activity.
Maybe they wouldn't constantly see those same mugshots if the city finally gave out life sentences to repeat offenders. But instead, there's a concerning trend of booking non-white individuals as white people, completely ending the accuracy of crime statistics. And the worst part about this entire situation is these law enforcement agencies and news networks know most crime is intraracial, meaning statistically criminals victimize people of their own ethnicity. So
Exactly. People are going after their own ethnicity typically when they're committing crimes. And to like sort of Decoy's point, if you catch and release the same criminal 70 times and only 1 or 2% of a group is committing these crimes, well, if you remove the person that's doing it 70 times, it's not going to look so bad. But if you continue to let the same fucker do this over and over again, then that one person is making it look bad for everybody else. And that one person is actually creating the narrative that you're trying to prevent by not locking them up in the first place.
when we see atrocities like this story out of Stockton, where a kid's birthday party got shot up, it was suspected that this was gang violence involving the Asian Crips, as it appears at least one of the men arrested was indeed Filipino. But you're never going to see anybody from the Asian community demand he be released or suppress his ethnicity, as statistically, when you lock up Asian criminals, you're protecting potential Asian victims, and all take saving Asian babies over violent Asian gang members every single time.
That is so fucking based. That is like the most based thing I have heard in a long time.
But why does the media conveniently omit this perspective when reporting on only certain crimes?
It's so based.
It's so the Democrats can turn this nonsense into reality.
There is absolutely no doubt that the data shows that the vast majority of incidents of domestic terror come from white nationalism.
There are problems in our communities, but usually it's some white supremacists on the other side.
We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Because when the truth doesn't match their narrative, the left doesn't change their talking points, they just use the media, crime reporting, and sacrifice of all the new victims they'll make to then pretend their narrative wasn't made up race-baiting nonsense, and for them to think we want to protect the identities of minority criminals to not disparage the law-abiding minorities just snitches on themselves on how they can't tell us apart.
Bro, dude, identity politics, people are getting fatigued. People are getting fatigued of identity politics. It's not over, but people are tired of it, man. People are tired of being told, whether you're white, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Latino. People are being tired, or people are tired of being told that they are inherently bad because of whatever race they are. And these groups are sort of hopefully going to start self-policing and pointing out the bad actors in their own communities. But you can't do that if everybody goes on TV and glosses over it all and just starts pointing the finger at other people instead of locking up or getting rid of the bad elements, no matter what group they're from, and then allowing the situation to work itself out. Dude, it's only a matter of time before some criminals insist on being tried as a minor because they identify as a teenager. Absolutely. Most of these topics are a few making the majority look bad. Absolutely. And if instead of protecting the criminals and protecting the people that are doing the wrong things, if we just prosecuted and locked up the people that were doing the wrong things, then we wouldn't have to talk about the people doing the right things. And then we could start talking about the actual problems that are facing the country. But we can't do that because we're too busy fucking doing all the wrong things. This is so frustrating, guys.
So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy, as we somehow made the channel Decoy Voice even more concise.
Dude, I want to talk about this really quick. I like Decoy Voice. I actually really like Decoy Voice, and I don't know how or why he's doing it, but he is literally taking his videos and cutting them down to like 6 minutes, which is so short that he's not even making any ad revenue off of this. So this man is basically doing this for the love of the game.